And good evening. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin, just updating on what we've been watching move toward the metro area. Now through much of the metro area, lightning, heavy rainfall, some gusty winds, and the potential of some small hail with a warned thunderstorm now, although we're also getting some reports of minor hail. Again, what we have seen so far, at least observed from ground truth, have been all small hail, mainly pea size. Did have some quarter size hail in the metro area a little bit ago, but right now that cell is over the heart of the city from really JP across Orleans into St. Bernard and approaching northern Plaquemines Parish. Even outside of the warned area, notice not in JP, at least at the moment, but there is some, let's see if I get it over here, some hail being observed on our radar around the 9 Mile Point on the West Bank. So that's P to quarter size in that light to then deep blue. The light blue, very small pea-size hail. We have been getting some gusty winds with within these things. Thankfully, at least as I've been monitoring the weather chat that we have with the National Weather Service office, no damage has been reported. And within that chat with the National Weather Service office, we have law enforcement, emergency management officials from all over the region, and none have been reporting that. So that is thankfully a good sign with these storms. Now, we might have some minor damage with the gusty winds, but thankfully that has not so far been a widespread concern. A lot of lightning, although these storms have been weakening as they've continued to spread farther south. But at the moment, I'm going to put this into motion here. At the moment, this particular storm continuing through the metro area from the lake, and that will continue for at least another 20 or so minutes. Now, a little bit farther north, where we've had some ongoing storms moving out of southwest Mississippi. Heavy, yes, in central St. Tammany Parish, but nothing severe. Bit of lightning, heavy rainfall, certainly some gusty winds, but at least the analysis is showing all of that below the limits for a severe thunderstorm warning. Widening out a little bit more to show you what is in southwest Mississippi, and thankfully nothing. So really the complex or cluster of storms we have on the North Shore right now, and what is over the city is the last of that. So for the next couple of hours, certainly not great if you have the evening dinner plans going out and about. A lot of schools having kind of back to school nights tonight. Unfortunately, we got the rain moving right through the metro area, and notice a new severe thunderstorm warning for that particular cell as it continues into northern Plaquemines Parish. We'll wrap up things here on air. If you would like, join us on our streaming app, WWL Plus. We'll continue our coverage there. But for now, I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin.
This has been a severe weather alert from WWL Weather, sponsored by Higginbotham Insurance and Financial Services.
And good evening again. If you're staying with us on WWL Plus, we are just watching a storm. I can hear the rainfall hitting our rooftop here in the French Quarter. Thankfully, while these have been maybe just above the limits for the issuance of severe thunderstorm warnings, they have been manageable for most of the afternoon and evening. So far, at least unofficial, no reports of any damage across the area. Certainly some gusty winds. The hail that we have already seen observed wouldn't be the type of hail that would cause any damage. Pea and even some quarter size hail, and have had some very interesting videos and photos sent to us from viewers of that hail, which is not something we always get here in southeast Louisiana, but interesting when we do. Now, at the moment, some possible small hail with this storm, really from Metairie, Old Jefferson. Note, there's not much activity as you go farther west into JP, so Kenner, some light rain over the airport, River Ridge, Elmwood, Harahan, Dry, Old Jefferson, some heavy rainfall across the city up toward the lakefront, and then going out toward New Orleans East, Michoud, down toward Chalmette, Tarrytown on the West Bank, and this particular cell is continuing to sink down toward the southeast. So at the moment, a warned area that only really includes, even from the French Quarter not included in that, the threat of some gusty winds here, more so over the Michoud or south of Michoud, and then down toward Chalmette, and continuing south as we get into more Belle Chase Poydras, and eventually that would be over the very marshier areas of Plaquemines Parish, and then possibly if some of that builds a little bit more east to the Biloxi Marsh. So at the moment, a new warning has been issued that does include Belle Chase getting in on the heavy rainfall now. The main threat from these storms, aside from that small hail, which, as I've mentioned, usually not the type that would cause any damage, the gusty winds. And that has been our main threat going through this afternoon and evening. We do need the rainfall. It does help to alleviate now our late evening temperatures. As we had already gotten to a high of 97 degrees, at least we are getting some late evening cooling rain, maybe a little evening and nighttime relief on your AC. The thunderstorms we've had on the North Shore, kind of a pocket of some heavier rain right in central St. Tammany Parish to the east of Folsom, moving toward Covington. Abita will continue in a direction toward Mandeville, and then eventually Lacombe. Now, those storms will continue moving south if that particular cell holds together, moving out over the lake and possibly continuing on into the metro area. But as I'd mentioned, north, southwest Mississippi, done. Things are finally settling down now. And thankfully, while the computer models have not been perfect with regard to the placement of the storms and precise timing, it has indicated that as we get beyond 9-10 o'clock, rain will be done. So going later into the night tonight and into the overnight, we're not going to be continuing to be threatened by any severe weather after, say, 9-10 p.m. This won't be something that we're continuing to monitor through the rest of the night. Much needed rainfall, yes. Welcomed rain. It does help to cool things off. And then as we head into the weekend, we're going to be much, much drier. So let's analyze this storm real quick and the potential for any hail. As I'd mentioned, kind of outside the warned area, the potential, say, right around Old Jefferson, 9 Mile Point in on the West Bank, there may be the possibility of pea to quarter size hail. Pea to quarter size hail maybe in parts of the West Bank. Algiers Point, kind of the pea size that we have over parts of the city out toward New Orleans East, the Lakefront Airport, nearing Chalmette now. And the gusty winds, the other ongoing threat within these storms. Thankfully, these are not the type of storms that would rotate. We don't have supercell thunderstorms. Rotation is not an issue, so these are not going to become tornadic. This will continue as it moves south to start clearing the city. If those storms in St. Tammany Parish do hold together, then perhaps we could see those move across the metro area shortly as well. Thankfully, as I'd said, while we have had countless severe thunderstorm warned storms, primarily for the gusty winds, so far we have not had any reports of damage from those gusty winds. And usually 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts can cause minor damage. It usually is not anything very significant or very widespread. But still watching that heavy cell over the city now, moving south, as well as the heavy rainfall right around Waldheim, moving into Covington, St. Benedict, out toward the Abbey, and then continuing south. Kind of a little band that's a bit heavier right over I-12, continuing down toward 190 and then into the Lacombe area. These will continue pushing south as well if they hold together, moving into the metro area. We'll watch this as we continue through the rest of this evening and into the night tonight. But thankfully, as we are joining you for our 10 p.m. newscast, I think most of the rainfall will be settled, and we are looking ahead to a hot and mostly dry, but maybe a little less humid weekend coming up. For now, I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Franklin.